Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Lionel again with another episode of PV versus everybody, and I'm excited. I'm excited because we're coming off a win. Listen, as long as we're coming off a win, then I'm excited. All right. Don't matter how we got the win. I mean, sometimes I'll be a little worried, but I'm happy, man. I'm happy with what we're getting out with a win. Because listen, the last 2 years going up against Valley, it ain't go that way. So the fact that we came out with the W, I got to be excited about it. I got to be excited about it at the end of the day, because many a times that the last 2 years that we've gone up against Valley, it ain't come out that way, right? So I'm super, super excited about that that we got going on, man. And I'm super excited about the show we got for today. Again, for all y'all who may be checking in for the first time, maybe you haven't been here at the channel, man, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you put a thumbs up, right, and go ahead and give it a like. That's just going to help the content to get out to more people with PV Nation, so that we can actually celebrate this space that's just for us, right? We're not, like I say, the side dish. We're not second fiddle, right? We're first in everything. And so super excited about that, man. But before we get in and really jump into the show for this week, man, listen, I saw this on some of the SWAC boards, right, around on Facebook, man, and I thought it was super, super, super interesting. So I wanna share this with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, I don't know what. I'm just wondering myself if this was, you know what I'm saying? I think I understand what he was trying to say, though. You know what I mean? I think I understand what he was going with it. You know what I mean? I don't really think that, you know what I mean, he meant it like it was taken. But listen, you gotta watch your words around here. Okay. You gotta watch your words around here in the SWAC. Because saw a lot of ground fam, you know what I'm saying, giving that side eye from that comment. But I thought that was super hilarious, man. Thought that was super hilarious from, you know what I mean, seeing that this past weekend. But yeah, man, let's get into it for today's show. We got a couple different segments we're going to be going through, man, today. Of course, we got our 20 questions, sports edition. We're going to tackle. Got keys to the game and score prediction for Houston Christian game coming up. Of course, we always want to look at PV Fantasy, right? See who our winners, not our losers, right? But see who our winners are, right? You know what I'm saying? We also gonna look around the SWAC, right, and see about the football standings. Also do a game recap, of course, of Valley, and we're gonna talk a little women's volleyball this week too, as well, right? So that's what we got in for today's show, man. Happy y'all to jump on. Appreciate you, Q, for coming back in. I see G, you say you checking out ONG Strike Zone. Yeah, I was watching. I definitely watched that FAMU and that Southern game. And I went back and watched that FAM and Alabama State game as well, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yeah, listen, this the big one that's coming up. Elvin, you said he already marking that game as a win. Hey, listen, we can't do nothing about it, right? You know what I'm saying? They should mark it as a win. Let them mark it as a win. Hopefully the team and the coaches and everybody just marking it as a win too. You know what I'm saying? Just let them be overconfident so we can go in and win the game. Let them do what they do. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I think we got a chance. I think we got a shot. Obviously, we got Houston Christian coming up first before that, but yeah, man, I think we got a good chance. You know what I mean? So let's get into it for this week, man. First thing first, man. Listen, women's volleyball again. Coach Sherry Lindsay. She's doing an excellent job this year. We've been talking about it each and every week. Right now, they're 10-11, one game under 500. That lets you know, man, they've been taking care of business out of conference. That's huge, man. Huge, man, for what they got going. This past weekend in Houston had the SWAC Round-Up. Of course, Took care of business against Bethune-Cookman, went 5 rounds, right? 3-2 victory there. Lost to FAMU and lost the third game, lost the second game to Alabama State. But these are the heavy hitters in the SWAC, right? These are the teams that at the end of the day, they're going to have to compete against if they say, hey, this year we believe, though the team is young, right? Though this is a young team, like, we believe we can win SWAC. Well, these are the teams you got to do it against. And looking at that game against Alabama State, looking at that FAMU game, I watched both of those games. Man, it was excellent. Excellent game, excellent competition. Man, you can see, even when you look at the stats, I mean, they're right there, right there where they need to be. So I kind of think this is a good thing, right, to see them go against this top-level SWAC competition, even though they don't come out with the win, right, coming out with the loss, right? I think they can learn many lessons, right, from what they saw. I mean, just the resilience of Alabama State was really huge, right? You know what I'm saying? They had some resiliency in that game to come back and take that win, man. So listen, that's what I'm saying. Jess, listen, first year, I mean, this is awesome what she's doing already. You know what I mean? And so I think the team is you know what I mean, they're on their way, right? With a lot of the players she's brought in, right, are freshmen, right? So you're talking about a team that she can keep this team together. They'll be making some noise in the SWAC years to come. So again, right, came out 1-2 over this weekend. But to me, I mean, the way they competed in those two games were huge, right? These are not games that they just laid down. If you look at the third set against Florida A&M, I mean, 29-27, man, that thing was intense, man. So if you guys have a chance, man, want to check that out, it's over on TSU's athletic page. They had all three of those games up over there. So if you guys want to go check those out, right? But for players of the week, man, listen, over 3 games, Miss Kylie Owens, 59 kills and 48 digs in 3 games. Listen, 24 kills against Bethune-Cookman, 24 kills against Alabama State. I mean, she was just a scoring machine, completely murdering. You know what I'm saying? Like going crazy. So she got her listed, and also listen, 113 assists for Miss Leah Lawson. I mean, hey, heck, man, you got to be mentioned. All right. You know what I'm saying? So she's definitely taking care of business over there as a setter for the Lady Panthers. I mean, completely just doing her thing and making sure she puts her teammates in a position, right, to score. So Kylie Owens, Leah Lawson, definitely 2 players of the week for this week. Definitely got a shout out Jacqueline Nino too. I mean, that second game, she had 26 digs against Alabama State, so did a great job, right, of keeping the ball off the floor and keeping us in the game there, man. So listen, a complete problem, a complete problem. Like, this team is awesome. I love the energy, man. I just love how dynamic, right? Since Sherry Lindsay has come over, right, she's made this team. It's super, super, super dope, man. It's super dope. So I'm super excited for that. And yeah, listen, she's A1. And yeah, man, it'll be dope to have volleyball in there with softball and the track team as well. So I mean, the women's sports are definitely killing it, and we need to make sure we show them love, right, each and every week. Hopefully, one week we can have either Coach Lindsay on, right, or one of the ladies, and so we can show them some love. So just want to take a look at the standings right now. We're in 3rd place, like I said. Alabama State first place, 6-0 in the SWAC play. Florida A&M is tied at 5-2 right there with us. And then you got Jackson State at 5-1. Now, this team doesn't have Alabama State or Florida A&M the rest of the way in SWAC play. They don't play Jackson State the rest of the way either in SWAC play, right? So they really do got the potential to go undefeated into the SWAC tournament. And of course, like we talked about last time, we hosting the SWAC tourney here at Prairie View, or in Prairie View. I'm saying here at Prairie View, like I'm in Prairie View, but we hosting that PV, right? You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can get the fan support for that, right, man, and help them to bring home a SWAC title this year, man. That'll be super dope. So also want to let you guys know, right, before we jump into the rest of the program, next week, we're going to have our basketball preview, our men's and women's basketball preview. So make sure y'all are locked in. Make sure I subscribe to the channel for that. And so we can lock in and talk about what's upcoming for both the Panthers and Lady Panthers this year, and what kind of success they can have on the basketball court. So let's get into it, man. So final score, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, listen. I loved when they made that hire. Lindsay was there when I was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was. I was there. I was a sports editor during that time, so I saw, right. You know what I'm saying, that team during that time. So I was happy when I saw her come back, right, and get that job, because not just because she's an alum who loves PV, but she put in the work, right, and she showed that she can build winning programs. And I think we have more Panther Nation like they're out there who we can bring back and connect with our athletic programs, right? Not just people who just want PV to do well, but like people who like got the resume to actually come back and help PV too, right? Because that's important. Not simply that you want to rock with PV, but like you got to have a resume too. And she definitely had the resume, so I was super excited about that hire. So let's get into it, right? Final score, you know what I'm saying, from this past week. I don't know what in the world. That is completely inverted. I don't know what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all know what it is, right? Listen, I guess you're right on time, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened there, right? You know what I'm saying? 31-12 PV. Y'all know we got the dub, right? You know what I'm saying? Super excited to see us get the win. And listen, though people say it's Valley, you can't just say it's Valley. Like, we really can't say it's Valley, because we dropped games to Valley 2 years in a row, right? 1 year when we're heading to the SWAC championship with no momentum at all, right? Dropping multiple games at the end of that year. And then last year with a chance to get into the SWAC championship game 2 years in a row, and we lost that game. So at the end of the day, though it's just Valley, like, this is still an important win, right? To go out and completely win this game, right? To completely control this game from beginning to the end. Listen, it's important, right? It's important to get another dub in the column, right? Coming off that Graham loss. So this is a good win, and we got to take it as a good win, because we can't take it for granted when we beat any team in the SWAC, much less the Mississippi teams who we've had a horrible time against the last couple of years, and then much less Valley, who's knocked us off the last couple of years, right? So I don't care if Vincent Dancy ain't there. I don't care if it's not an Eda Ben. I don't care. Listen, it's a dub. We'll take it, right? So I'm super happy that we got over the Valley hump. Yeah, man. Listen, I'm super happy we got over the Valley hump. Yeah, I know, Charles, I'm old. I apologize for that, right? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we got the win 31-12. So some of the good things I saw. Listen, the pressure up front was amazing, right? Now, I went back and watched the whole Valley game, and I watched the whole Grambling game again. And the stunts that the defensive coordinator called in the Valley game helped tremendously for us to get more pressure, right? And so I'm hoping, now I haven't gone back to the early games in the season to look, but it's if you go back and look at those two games, it's a complete difference in the way he schemed the front four up front, right? In this last game than what he did in the Grambling game, for sure. Completely different, right? He was way more aggressive, right? With using inside stunts, right? With having a defensive end and a defensive lineman, right? Both run stunts on both sides, on the left and right side, right? So like he was in his bag, right, up front, and it helped a lot. You can see, I mean, it had Valley on their toes. I saw times where, I mean, you got one a Valley guard, right, blocking literally nobody, right, on one side, and you got the center and the guard, right, both taking either Jamal Marshall on one side or Derek Gray on the other side, right, and creating a lane for one or the other. So listen, I'm excited to see that. I'm hoping that that's a trend that we continue. I'm hoping we found something, some formula there, right, that we can use throughout the last 5 games of the season. Because if we can create more pressure up front, that's going to help the back end, period, point blank, right? At the end of the day, if we can create more pressure up front, that's going to help us tremendously. Because coming into this game, we had 1 sack on the season, right? 1 sack the entire season. 7 sacks against Valley, right? At the end of the day, Valley didn't give up 7 sacks to FAMU, right? So I don't care how you spin it. Listen, FAMU with their great front, They didn't get 7 sacks against Valley. So I'm gonna take it, right? And I'm gonna hope that we see them implementing some of this in this upcoming game against Houston Christian to continue to tweak it, right? So we can continue to create pressure right into the future. But listen, I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, right? And I'm thinking, right, if he would have called the game he called against Valley, right? Man, listen, I think that Graham game would have been completely different because you put more pressure on Miles Crowley, and we saw what happened when Alcorn put pressure on Miles Crowley, right? I mean, 3 turnovers that game, right? So, listen, I'm super, super excited about that, right? So, next thing, number 2, the first down mixture, right? Everybody knows, right? We asked this question last week. If it's first down and PV has the ball, what play are we running, right? You know what I'm saying? 21 dive, right? We all know, right? We all know what play we're running. But now, this game, that wasn't a mixture, right? I love how we mixed it up, right? 5 first down passing plays to 4 running plays, right? Obviously, that last drive was just a drive. We running the clock out, so obviously we running the ball on that drive, right? But when you look at how we distributed that, the first 3 drives, 3 passing plays in a row on first down, right? Great plays that got great yardage too, right? So I love how we're mixing it up. Listen, shout out to you know what I'm saying, angry fans of PV, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe he's putting in some good words, and I guess the coaches are hearing them. You know what I'm saying? So love the mixture from this game, right? And then the other thing is we definitely tackled better, right? We definitely tackled way better than I've seen in previous games. So those are a couple of things that I saw this past week. Yeah, listen, I still don't see the corners turning around. So, like I say, I think it just has to be coached at this point. I mean, we 6 games into the season, and I don't see them turn around, lick the ball. So I don't know. I can't do nothing about that, right? But if we can create pressure, then you know what I'm saying, maybe we can create more turnovers, right? Which we've had a hard time these last couple games doing that as well, right? So anyway, that's what I see is good, right? Let's talk about the bad now, though, right? Though the mixture was good on offense, the packages are still very vanilla. Like they're still very vanilla. Not a lot of motion, right? In the offense, right? Not a lot of movement. I mean, so it would be nice, right, to see us mix in some different packages, right? And like I said before, it would be lovely if we also could get player specific packages, because that's one thing. Look, when you look at Florida A&M, if you look at Grambling and you see what they do, a lot of what they do is like, hey, I'm trying to get Marcus Riley the ball, right? So I got specific plays for Marcus Riley. I think that's one thing that I hope as we continue to move to the end of the season, we can start seeing, right? To say, listen, Juice needs to touch the ball 5 to 6 times a game in the passing or the run game, right? So I have specific plays for Juice to get the ball, right? I'm hoping that we can create packages like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I still think the packages are kind of a little on the vanilla side, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, vanilla's good, right? Hey, sometimes vanilla's good if it gets the job done, but not all the time. All right. Other thing, man, 2 big drop passes. 2 big drop passes, right? One on I believe the second drive of the game. I had my notes here somewhere, but one on the second drive of the game, I believe, right? Which could have kept the drive going, right? And so I think we end up punting on that drive. I think the other one was the first drive, right, that we had to drop. I think that was Jaquan Bloomfield with a drop, right, which also would have kept the drive going. We end up kicking the field goal. No, the first one I think was actually Brian Jenkins, right, with a drop. And the ball looked a little high, right? So I will give him that. It looked a little high, right? But listen, you got to bring it in. You know what I'm saying? You got to bring it in, right? That keeps the drive going. So that drive may end in a touchdown instead of a field goal. Second drive, Bloomfield drops the ball, right? Hey, listen, that could end up in a touchdown or a field goal, right? Because now we're in field goal range and we keep the momentum going, right? That could end up in a touchdown. This is big when you're talking about, especially in the beginning of the game, you're moving down the field and then you get stalled out simply because you put the ball on the ground, y'all. Like literally, I mean, if we can go up 7-0, 10-0, 14-0, you know, in some of these later games, this is going to be really important other than letting these teams stay around and have a chance. That's what happened in the Graham game. Listen, those last 8 drives was horrible from the offensive standpoint at the end of the day. Like the offense was just horrible at the end of the day. In the second half, from that last drive in the first half to the rest of the game, it was just bad, right? 3 turnovers on downs, interception, like it was just bad, right? So we can't put the ball on the ground. This is end all be all, right? We gotta catch the ball. Listen, the ball, especially when it's there, like we gotta catch it, right? Last thing, right? Yeah, we got stopped on 4th and 1 too. That was another one, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? So we left a lot on the field, right? That was a lot. So scoring 21 points, this could have easily been a 40-point game. Easily. That 4th and 1, you scored a touchdown. That's 38, right? You got that field goal that turns into a touchdown, or that drive continues, right? They got stalled out because of that drop. That's a field goal or touchdown. So this easily could have been a 40-point game, right? But that's not on anything that Valley did. That's on us. And that's the same thing in other games we've seen as well, right? We put the ball on the ground, and we can't do that, right? You know what I'm saying? They frustrate me too. You know what I'm saying? So we got to take care of that. I saw Conley point to himself to the sideline. So I guess they gave him that prerogative, right, to go ahead and try to QB sneak it in. He didn't get it in, right? You know what I'm saying? So the last thing, right, on my bad, right? We gave up over 200 yards to Valley in the passing game. Listen, Valley hadn't thrown for over 150. Remember, that's a question we had too in our 20 question sports edition last week. Were we going to be able to keep Valley under 150? Like they average less than 150 a game. We gave up over 200. This is not good. This is not good, guys. On the 28th, we got FAMU. I mean, FAMU just threw the ball, 50 times against Southern? That's our Achilles heel at the end of the day. If there's one glaring thing that this team has that it has to get in order if we're going to win the SWAC, it's the secondary, right? It's stopping teams through the air. That's the one glaring weakness, right? We have other things that we definitely need to tweak, but that's like an issue that's like we have seen no solution to that issue yet. We've seen nothing yet that has shown us that, hey, we're going to be able to solve that problem. No, listen, we started Aaron Allen. We made Aaron Allen this year, right? Aaron Allen going around throwing the ball for 300 yards. We made Aaron Allen because that's when he came out. That was his coming out party, right? That was Alcorn. That's when Alcorn realized, you know what? We might be a passing team. That was us, okay? So we got to figure something out because at the end of the day, Valley, I mean, come on, it's Valley, right? We know that, right? But we got some teams we're going to face coming up. And if we want to get the job done and if we want to win SWAC, we got to figure that out, man, really, really quick. So let's see. Who hasn't thrown? Man, listen, I don't know. I think everybody's thrown for over 200 on us so far this season. Yeah, I think he played pretty well, right? I think he was like 18 for 27, something like that, right? So for like around 229. So played pretty well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's relative. But I mean, we haven't stopped anybody through the air yet either, right? That's kind of my concern. It's because I think we played a run really well, but then we also have to ask, right? Why do I want to keep pounding when I can beat you through the air too? When I know that my receivers can beat your DBs. That's my belief, right? So we kind of got to juggle that too, because at this point, right, we haven't shown yet that our secondary can step up and make plays, right? You know what I'm saying? So it says secondary seems a bit confused on how to line up and what play they're running. Yeah. So, all right, let's keep it going, right? So players of the game this game, of course, Trezon. This is his second week, right, that he's been a SWAC player of the year. Of the week. So 11 for 18, 259 yards. Again, 2 drops that could have probably put him close to 300 yards, right? Of course, 2 touchdowns through the air. Also 10 rushing attempts this game, 49 yards and a touchdown. It's the first game he's run so much, right? But when I look at kind of the reads he was making, I think he made the right reads, right? Field completely open, right? All men across the board, right? Okay, he takes off and runs. So I think he did a good job on that. I also will say he did make a lot of good reads this game, right? A lot of good reads. That's when we had the pass to Spiller, had the pass to Jaquan Bloomfield, right? I think he definitely saw and recognized that, hey, they're in man coverage. The pass to Shamar Savage, right, that I think Boom mentioned a little bit earlier, right? So he made some good reads and recognized they were in man coverage and gave our receivers, right? We got receivers across the board this year. He gave them a chance to make plays. Now, what I will say is I hope that, that we can also mix in some intermediate passing, right, too, as well, because you can't always just, you can't always just take the fly route every time, right, when teams in man coverage. I mean, I'm saying? Sometimes you got to just say, hey, listen, I got a hot read, and I'm going to just get the first down. So that's my only thing that I would say. I hope that they can tweak some, is kind of add some little hot routes in there. All right, Richard say, rather our cornerbacks play back and contain to give the big play. I'm with you on that. FAMU, UAPB, and Southern will throw against us easy. Yeah, hopefully we can stop the run, right? And yeah, they didn't really allow Harold Blood to throw the ball that much this week. So defensive side, Jamal Marshall, 4 tackles, man. But listen, 2 tackles for loss, two sacks, right, for 11 yards. Up front, we played very, very well this game. Jamal Marshall with 2 sacks. Had Miles McHaney had a sack. We had Presley with a sack this game. Derek Gray continues to play well, right? So listen, across the board, that front is continuing to get better and better every game. And I'm hoping that we can continue with what I saw them do up front, like I said earlier, with the stunts, because I think that definitely gave them a chance, right, to make some plays against the quarterback this game. So hopefully we can keep that going. So just looking at the football schedule, of course, we're 3-3 so far, right? Now coming and getting this win against Valley. Of course, we still got Houston Christian this upcoming week. We get a break after that, right? And we get 2 weeks to prepare for FAMU's homecoming. I'm just hoping and praying we can win. Listen, if we can win out, because all these people talking, like, I listen to these FAMU people talking, and it's almost like they just assume. I even saw somebody say, like, hey, man, I think PV's going to win the West, right? So I think they'll probably end up coming back to Bragg to play in the West. And I'm just like thinking, like, you just automatically thinking we ain't gonna play this game in Prairie View? Like, why are you thinking that? What's wrong with you? Okay? We ain't played the game yet. Because if we go in and beat FAMU, if we can win out, Gramblin's going to drop another game. I think we all believe that that's going to happen, right? So as long as Grambling drops one more game and we win out, we win SWAC West and we have the tiebreak over FAMU. And then we can welcome all the media coverage down to Prairie View, Texas, okay? And that's where the SWAC championship will take place, right? So, and I think we can do it, right? I mean, I don't think there's any team on this schedule that I'm completely just like, listen, we don't have a team that can beat this team. My only issue has been this whole year is, do we get out coached? That's the only question I have, right? But do we have the players and the talent? Man, we got the players and the talent, man. So I'm excited for the rest of the season, man. So let's get into PV Fantasy, man. This week, if you haven't been playing PV Fantasy, you've been missing out, man. You've been missing out. So make sure you lock in with us this week for the Houston Christian game. Make sure you go ahead and fill out and take the PV Fantasy Football Challenge, man. But let's get into the PV Fantasy Football Challenge for this week. Get my music, you know what I'm saying? And so for y'all who haven't, you know what I'm saying, no, I want to say shout out to our new participants. That boy Sid for jumping in and joining us. And Will Joyner, who has jumped on for the first time to be a part of this PV Fantasy Football community, right? You know what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all. Shouts out, man, for y'all taking the challenge and jumping on with us. But just let you guys know, right? You have 8 players that you can pick and you can choose from, right? Of course, a running back, a wide receiver. You have a flex player, which is a running back or a tight end, wide receiver, a tight end, defensive lineman, linebacker, and 2 defensive backs, right? And of course, the scoring system is just a typical, you know what I'm saying, fantasy scoring system. If you ever played fantasy football. For the defense, we kind of did tweak it a little bit, right? Made it 2 points for a sack or a tackle for a loss, 1 point for a pass breakup or a QB hurry, right? But other than that, it's pretty much the same, right? So let's get into it, right? Fantasy football winners from week 6. Let's start it off with 3rd place coming in. Last week he was on top of the podium. But this week he's back on the podium in 3rd place. Y'all give it up for that man, Elvin Price, class of 2005, man. Appreciate you for locking in with us. Sorry you couldn't take the dub this week. But hey, you know, there's another chance next week, right? You know what I'm saying? Now let's keep it going. In 2nd place, beating out Elvin by 1 1% of a point. Listen, y'all give it up for that man Said. Y'all give it up for that man Said, man. Y'all give it up for Said Brass, man. First time playing PV Fantasy. 45 points. 45.0. I mean, 1.1 point, right? You know what I'm saying? The difference between third place and second place. Shout out to Said. But listen, we got somebody who did. Hey, listen, man, you gotta take your wins. You know what I'm saying? Listen, people get to the top of the leadership board and think they're gonna stay there forever now. That's how it is. You think you're gonna stay there forever? You know what I'm saying? You think you Brandon Lee, huh? You think you Brandon Lee, huh, Elvin? You think you Brandon? No, I'm just playing. But week 6 winner goes to none other than that bad man. That bad first timer. Man, that man Will Joyner came in and said, listen, I'm going to jump in week 6, first time ever, and I'm going to just go ahead and take gold because that's what I do. All right? So shouts out to Will for winning PV Fantasy Football Challenge week 6 with 49.1 points. He was the only person this week who had Connor Wisham and Shamar Savage. The only person who had both Connor Wisham and Shamar Savage. And of course, those two players obviously had big games, right? That big 74-yard pass to Shamar Savage, Connor Wisham with that big 60-plus yard run for a touchdown, right? So listen, 64-yard run, and then he scored the touchdown at the end of that drive. So listen, man, you gotta know how to pick them. You feel me? You gotta know how to pick them. So shout out to Will, man. As I said, right, PV Fantasy Football is sponsored by no one. So only thing you win is pride, you know what I'm saying? And the ability to say that you got first place. All right. But yeah, let's keep it moving, man. So shout out to all y'all. For anybody who wants to join and be a part of the PV Fantasy Football, the link should be in the description. I'm gonna drop the link right here too as well. So you guys can go ahead and fill out that form for this week upcoming. Hopefully we'll see y'all at the game if y'all in the Houston area. I don't know why my camera keeps going out, but hopefully we see y'all if y'all in the Houston area, man, at Houston Christian this weekend, because we gonna sell it out. Yeah, I'm excited for Wisham too, man. I think I'm happy he's getting more carries, man, because he's a guy who can get some yards out the contact, man. He runs really, really hard, and he's hard to bring down. You know what I mean? So very nice, right? So let's do a quick week 6 review. We got Alabama State with the win over Bethune-Cookman 19-14. Of course, Alcorn. Thank you, Corn. You feel me? Thank you for the win. So 25-24 over Grambling. We appreciate the referees for doing what you do. All right. You know what I'm saying? Tip our hat to you. You know what I mean? You welcome to the barbecue at any time, right? You know what I mean? Well, just this week, because, you know, most time y'all acting crazy when we there. So just this week, right? But 25-24, Alcorn takes the win, you know what I'm saying, over Grambling. We got Jackson State 45-30 over Alabama A&M. And then, of course, the big game, right, with Florida A&M beating Southern 26-19. Now, that's a big win, right, because if Southern can also drop another game, that again puts us in a very good position. But like I say, if we win out, I think we're going to be we just need to win out, right? We win out, we gonna do what we do, right? You know what I'm saying? So we definitely stacked that running back. And yes, I'm happy that they ran him outside as well. You know, we run a lot in between the tackles, man. But I would like to see us period run more outside of the tackle just to switch it up, man. Because you know, I think teams feel like they, you know, saying they got to jump on us because you know they kind of know what's coming. They know what we're doing. So looking at the SWAC standings right now, of course, right now we're in first place at 3-1. Of course, a tiebreaker for second place at 2-1 with Graham, Alcorn, and Southern. All this is obviously going to be switched around as we continue to go through the weeks. But we're definitely in a good position right now, right? So we control our destiny, right? The thing we can control is the games we play, right? And we can deal with that. Florida A&M, of course, in first place in the East. We got Jackson State at 2-1, Alabama A&M and Alabama State both at 1-2. Alabama A&M has Grambling this week, so that's a super big game this week upcoming, right? Because even though Alabama A&M is going to Graham, look, Alabama A&M just put up 30 points against Jackson. They put up 30 plus against Arkansas Pine Bluff as well. So Alabama A&M can put points on the board. The question is just simply going to be, right, can they stop Grambling from putting points on the board? So that would also obviously be a big win for us coming up. So out of conference game this week, we got Lincoln going to Southern for their homecoming, right? So, that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? So we're not really worried about that. And then for our in-conference games this week, got Texas Southern against Bethune-Cookman, going to Bethune-Cookman. We got Arkansas Pine Bluff against Valley this week, right? Both teams trying to get out the snide, trying to get their first SWAC win of the year. So we'll see what happens there. I know both of those coaches are excited about trying to get a win, their first SWAC win. So we see what happens there down in Itta Bena. We got Alabama A&M going to Grambling, another huge game for us, right? If Alabama A&M can knock off Grambling here, because that would put us, in first place, period, right? And then all we got to do is take care of our business, right? And we're good, right? So Alabama A&M going to Grambling. Of course, Alabama State plays Jackson State as well this week. And of course, Florida A&M is going to be off this week. So let's keep it moving, though, right? Let's get into our 20 questions. Hey, listen, I think A&M can get it done too. So that's going to be the game to watch, man, and check out. So she says the West, Wild West. West is wild, man. So let's get into our 20 questions this week, right? Number one, since we're going with white helmets for the season, you know what I mean? Can we get that all white look for the fam in the SU game? You know what I'm saying? I think that all white look is on point. You know what I'm saying? White helmets, white jerseys, white pants. Like, I think that's the best look based on the uniform combinations we have. And so I want us to look our best when we go in and handle business, especially away from home at these two places. So can we get that all white look? You know what I'm saying? We ain't had it yet this season. I can't see us wearing it against Houston Christian, you know what I'm saying, for that game, right? So I suspect we probably go in there with white tops, yellow pants, I'm guessing, right? You know what I'm saying? But that all white, right, to go in and handle business at FAM for their homecoming and then go to Mumford? Come on, man. Like, give me the all white, man. Give me the all white. All right. When it comes to attendance, listen, give me that all white. Give me that all white, please. All right, when it comes to attendance, why don't we just guesstimate like everyone else in the SWAC? I just don't understand, right? Because Southern said they had 17,000 at this game. And listen, I watched the game. That it's impossible that that's 17,000 people. And then I go to our game. The first number I saw was 1,000. I'm like, I know it had to be more than 1,000 people at this game. Like, I mean, I saw the crowd. Like, it had to be more than 1,000. Now, it wasn't 17,000. I understand, right? But I'm just saying, like, it seemed like boys is guesstimating around here. I don't know if people counting the band, people over here counting the band and all the staff and everybody that walked through the tailgate section. It's just like you just make your own number up. That's what it feels like to me. So I'm like, why can't we just guesstimate? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. You want to rock the metallic gold helmets for the SWAC championship? I don't think we're gonna wear the gold helmets at all this year, to be honest. From what I'm hearing, they're saying the white helmets are the newer ones, and that they're the more those helmets are safer, right? And so the team is the players like that helmet, right, because of the safety aspect of it, right? Maybe not necessarily color, but the safety aspect. So I'm not sure if we're gonna wear the gold. Not sure, right? I love the gold with the white too. I ain't gonna lie, right? That's like my favorite look. But since I think I feel like we're going all white for the whole season, like, give me that all white. Give me that all white one time, right? Our uniform combos have been questionable this season. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I mean, it is what it is, right? I just want it, as long as you come back with a win, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. Listen, that's what I'm saying. We might as well guesstimate at this point. Yeah, well, who we got handling that? You know what I'm saying? Because, listen, I just know when I be seeing some of these attendance numbers, then I look at the actual game look at the stands at the games. I'm like, how is this amount of fans? It just don't make sense. Like, it's clear that this is not that much. And from what I've been researching, it's not a specific standard. That's the other issue, right? It's some people count tickets sold. So that can include them saying, hey, well, these are what we sold, but this is also what we gave as comp tickets. So those people may not come to the game, but we're counting that as part of our attendance. I mean, there's no rule, right? So everybody's doing whatever they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Just use our enrollment as game day attendance. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, and the players prefer the white helmets, right? All right, so let's get into a football related question, right? Which offense puts up more yards this weekend, right? PV or Houston Christian? Right now, we're averaging right under 200 a game. Conley is averaging 198 right through the air every game. Obviously, that Southern Miss game, I think, is doing a lot to suppress that number. Obviously, right, because we didn't have really any offensive output that game. But who do you think puts up more yards through the air this game, right? Because Houston Christian is definitely a run first team. Like they want to run the ball. But again, just like the same thing we said with Alcorn, even though Alcorn would like to run the ball, I mean, listen, our secondary is giving up a lot of plays through the air. So what y'all think? You know what I'm saying? So we got HCU. I got, you think PV gonna roll? You say if our defense don't make the initial tackles, well, that's a part of the question. You know what I'm saying? Are we gonna make the tackles? Did a better job tackling against Valley, right? I say that, right? Man, this is a hard one, man. I think PV. I think we're gonna roll again this week through the air. You know what I'm saying? I think we're gonna have another good showing, man. We just got too many weapons, you know, not to put the ball up through the air and not to take advantage of what we have there. So I'm going with PV, man. I think we'll put up more yards through the air. Another defense related question now, right? So that was offense related question. Let's go defense. Does the defense have another multiple sack game? All right. Of course, like I said, the first 5 games of the year, I think 1 sack. The first 4 games, 0 sacks. Right. So 1 sack. Now we had 7 sacks against Valley, and like I said, I saw something completely different up front with what was schemed together that I loved, right? So I'm wondering, can we go out and have another multiple sack game against Houston Christian? Oh, so we getting 4 this game, Richard. We getting 4. You know what I'm saying? No, listen, I know we ain't getting 7 sacks, right? I'm just saying multiple, meaning 2 or more, right? Y'all think we get at least 2 sacks this game, right? Q got 2 or 3, you know what I'm saying? And just got 2 or 3, maybe, all right? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think we can get 2. I think we can lock 2 in, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, Houston Christian likes to run the ball, right? So, I think the opportunity is going to be more limited because they really want to pound the ball. But I think we can get 2. G Boom said we got 1 coming. All right. This is another question, right? Who has more fan attendance at the game this weekend? You know what I'm saying? This is a chance for us to win the fan attendance battle right here, right? If there's no other game on down that we can win the fan attendance battle, I mean, obviously from home games, obviously, right? Like this, the game right here, right? Houston Christian has had 2 games this year. 2 games this year. Listen. Now, hold on. Listen. They've had 2 games this year. First game was against Arkansas Baptist, 1,700 in a 5,000 seat stadium, right? Second game, conference game against Lamar, right up the street in Beaumont, 1,500. So listen, can PV Nation get 1,500 people to just 1,500? I mean, I think Houston Christian would be happy because listen, that's money they ain't gonna see. But can we get 1,500 at least to the game this weekend, right? I think, man, if we can't get it done we in Houston, bro, we on Fondren, bro. Like on Fondren, like we can't get 1,500 to Fondren. I don't know, man. It should be no excuse, you know what I mean? But it's I don't know. We gonna find out, right? Though I think we definitely gonna have a good splattering of people there, right? I don't know if we gonna have the whole 1,500, but we gonna have a couple hundred there. I think we'll have a couple hundred there for sure. You know what I'm saying? You say we took over Rice a few years back. Yeah, that stadium only 6,500. It's only 5,000 for this stadium, right? Right now they're averaging 1,600 per home game, right? 1,700 one game, 1,500 another game. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So the band is not supposed to be there. Nope. All right, so let's keep it going. So I have a question, right? With all the sports we got going on right now, you know what I'm saying? I know football is always like the one that pops up, right? I know basketball is another one that gets a lot of hype. Of course, we got all the Olympic sports. But man, which collegiate sport is your favorite to watch in person though? Like in person. You know what I'm saying? Listen, that stadium is small, okay? It is 5,000 seat stadium, right? So it should be no problem for us to take it over. But which collegiate sport is your favorite to watch in person? You know what I'm saying? Just say volleyball, baseball, softball. The thing, man, listen, the thing about the baseball and softballs, right, is like people be hyped at those games, right? And I've seen the same thing at volleyball this year, right? Like actually tuning in to watch the games, like, yo, they be getting the crowd into the game for real, right? It's like it's like a fun game to watch. I haven't been to a volleyball game in person, but I'm like, yo, this looks like a great atmosphere to go to a game. Boom says baseball and softball. You know what I'm saying? Basketball when you sit courtside. Okay. Richard, you know what I'm saying? Kind of, you know what I'm saying? Kind of showing himself there. You know what I'm saying? Courtside at the basketball games. Football and track and field. You know what I mean? Okay, so volleyball is so lit because you're anticipating if the receiving team will get the ball. Yeah, man. I think if I had to go with one, like I love football, but man, basketball on another level though. Basketball on another level, especially when the crowd there and they in it and it's a tight game, yo. You can feel the tension in the air. You can't escape it. Like you can feel the tension in the air. I just love me some basketball, man. Basketball, right? On inside, you can't escape it. Like, no, not outside where you can find walk around, right? Let the tension go away. Nah, like it's there. You feel it. You can cut it with a knife. I love it, right? So for me, it's basketball, man. But whatever it is, man, let's make sure we get out and support, you know what I'm saying, PV Athletics, period. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, basketball courtside is definitely better than football from the field. I completely agree. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. What does a win against Houston Christian say about this team? What does a win against Houston Christian say about this team? Or does it say anything about this team, right? Obviously, we had the game against HCU early in the year. A lot of yards. I mean, basically 500 yards, you know what I'm saying, on offense, but end up giving up 45 points, only scoring 16 points, turn the ball over way too much, right? But what does a win against Houston Christian say about this team? You know what I'm saying? Say getting a win out of conference is good for us and the conference. Definitely, because listen, SWAC has been dropping some games out of conference. Yeah, I think this was the thing that I was thinking about, right, Q? The same thing Q was saying here. That at the end of the day, what the last couple of years, our problem has been the end of the year. Our problem has been the end of the year. And so if we can start getting that momentum rolling early, I think that'll be good, right? We're talking about starting our momentum toward the end of the year. I think it's super good, right? So says a lot. Says a lot about that we care to dominate out of conference just as well as in conference. I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that. You know what I mean? So yeah. And a confidence builder. Yeah, because I think, listen, if we can shore up, this has been our problem. Our problem has been the last couple of years has been how do we end the year off? So even how we started this year kind of seemed like we were building momentum. I look at the defense, especially up front, right? See, like they build a momentum. I'm seeing the offensive play calling. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at it. I'm like, even though it's not where I would like it to be yet, I'm like, okay, I can definitely say, okay, I feel like it's getting better, right? And so if we can continue in that trend, right, to be our best in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, when we go to Florida A&M and on the rest of the way, man, I think we good, man. I think we good. Let's keep it going. Is it just me? Talking about improvement. Talking about improvement, right? Because I know last week we asked, and I asked you a question. I challenged y'all out there. I challenged PV Nation. I said, PV Nation, please tell me one cornerback on this team that has touched anybody when they've been in man coverage. I asked you. I said, listen, maybe I just can't see. But I challenged you. I said, tell me one cornerback in any game that has touched anybody when they've been in man coverage. And you know what happened? No, you couldn't answer me. You couldn't give me an answer because nobody has touched anybody in man coverage. I have no idea why we don't touch anybody in man coverage. Okay, it just makes no sense to me. All right. But lo and behold, we're talking about this trend of getting better, of doing things that you should have already been doing. And one of those things is I saw the cornerbacks and linebackers getting their hands on Valley wideouts. Listen, I'm happy somebody touched somebody. Somebody touched their neighbor, okay? Because that's improvement. Because I ain't seen nobody touch nobody for the first 5 games of the season. And I'm not even lying. Literally, we asked it last week. You on last week's show, we talked about this question, and nobody had an answer for anybody that they ever seen touch anybody in man coverage. But this past week, I saw multiple cornerbacks getting their hands on receivers, right? I saw linebackers, right? Even though they were dropping back into a zone, right? Putting their hand on the tight end to throw them off their route, putting their hand on the slot receiver to try to throw them off their route before they drop back in zone. Thank you. Yes. Finally, somebody's touching somebody. So I'm happy. I don't know who talked to who. I don't know if it was angry fans of PV who got it done, but I appreciate you, ma'am or sir, whoever you are. I appreciate you because now our cornerbacks are touching somebody. All right, let's keep it going. You said Valley played a very physical brand of football and seemed like they responded. I hope they keep playing physical because it just don't make no sense to be in man coverage. You don't touch nobody. All right, listen. I don't know if you were at the game or not, right? But if you were at the game, you saw in the fourth quarter, man, listen, the Marching Storm was they was into the game. It's the first time I've ever seen a band respond like that. Now, I'm just wondering, can we get the Marching Storm to continue with that same energy, like at every game they go through to the rest of the season? Because that energy, they were heckling Valley players. Like they were, the only thing is I wish they would have played more, I don't know why they didn't play more than they did. But as far as the band members being into the game and being a part of it and joining in on the heckling, oh man, that was great. That was great. I hope we can get that energy the rest of the year. Let's keep it going, right? Volleyball question for everybody. We talked about the volleyball team a little bit earlier, right? Again, they're 5-2 in conference play right now, 10-11 overall. They don't have Alabama State. They don't have Jackson State, nor do they have FAMU on the schedule the rest of the way. These are the top teams in the SWAC. Of course, ASU and FAMU being the two top teams the last couple of years. Can they get through the rest of the SWAC schedule undefeated before the tournament? Can they get through the rest of the schedule undefeated before the tournament? You say they got them in the cluster. Did I miss that? So Boom say they do play JSU in the cluster. So okay, no Alabama State and no FAMU, but they do got Jackson State. And so I'm guessing that's at Jackson then, because I think that the next cluster they go to is going to be I believe in Jackson. So, but they got Jackson, right? The number 2 team right now in the SWAC. Can they get through the rest of the SWAC unscathed? You know what I'm saying? I think they can get it done, man. I think they've been playing very well. I'm looking forward to them continuing their winning ways. You know what I mean? But I think every game is a learning experience because it's a really young team, right? So even if they do have tough losses, I feel like it's not going to be a bad thing for them because it's just going to prepare them for SWAC tournament play, right? When everything is just turned up a notch. So, I think I had this question twice. I don't know how I got this question twice. So let's keep it going. What will the Panthers run on the first play of the first drive? What will they run on the first play of the first drive? Okay, so you said it is at Jackson. Gotcha. So A&M, Valley, and Jackson at Jackson State. Okay, cool. What will they run on the first play of the first drive? See, now you got to think a little harder, right? Because last game got 5 passing plays and we got 4 running plays on first down. So see, y'all thought it was gonna be 21 dive all game. You know what I'm saying? Like, see the OC, he outsmarting y'all now. You know what I'm saying? He outsmarting y'all. He's on the way up. You know what I'm saying? To the east side. You feel me? So we got play action or jet sweep. That's what they ran. That first play they ran this past game, man, was a play action off of the jet sweep, and they threw that dig route to Brian Jenkins, right? So I love that play call. So hopefully we get another creative play call. I don't care what it is. I just need to be creative, and I need it not to be a run up the middle, right? You know what I'm saying? That's all I need it to be, right? You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not a run up the middle and it's something to create. Listen, it could be an off tackle toss play. I don't like, just don't run the ball up the middle. All right. You know what I'm saying? So he said pass to Juice, Bloom, or Spiller. So we'll see, right? Number 13, right? Why doesn't the band come out with the Eye of the Storm anymore? You know, I used to love that form. I'm like, yo, that was signature. That was so dope. That Eye of the Storm, when they come and enter in the field, right? That mess was crazy. I don't understand why we don't do that no more. Because to me, I'm like, yo, I haven't seen an entrance that on point in a long time. We talking about any SWAC school. That was dope. The Eye of the Storm for the Marching Storm, that mess was crazy, right? So I don't know who got pulled, but like somebody, man, anybody, like talk to your people, right? Talk to your people, man, and bring the Eye of the Storm back because I love the Eye of the Storm. All right, number 14. The basketball teams, right? We saw last week SWAC Media Day for both men's and women's basketball. Of course, like we talked about, we're going to talk about SWAC preview for the basketball teams next week. But question for you. For the rankings, do you think they have us too high, too low, or are we just right? Too high, too low, or just right, both for the men's team and for the women's team? Right now, I think both teams, they have us at 6th in SWAC, right? Both for the men and the women's team. So do you think we're too high, too low, or just right? You know, I think for the men's team, I mean, listen, I don't think neither them nor us know where to put us. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. You know what I mean? I think there's so much turnover that it's kind of like, well, putting us in the middle of the package is like saying, hey, we really don't know where to list you at. You know what I mean? And I think that's really the same for both teams because at the end of the day, they're trying to see like, man, I'm not going to put you at the bottom, right? Because I've seen the coaching job that Coach Smith has done before, right? So I'm not going to put you at the bottom of the league, right? Because I've seen what you brought in. I've seen how competitive your teams have been. But I can't put you at the top either because I have literally no idea what you're bringing back. And so I think for both teams, you know, I'm with you, Richard. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just right because it's kind of just like that's just really saying like, hey, we have no idea. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's gonna be a lot of unknowns. I think the out of conference schedule this year is gonna be really, really big and really, you know what I'm saying, giving both coaches a chance to see right who they really can trust. You know what I'm saying? Who they really can go to in key moments. So yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting to see the both basketball teams starting out this year. Number 15. It's an interesting question, right? Is there anybody on the team so far who you have as somebody like, hey, I'm penciling this person in that I think by the end of the year, they're going to be considered an all SWAC performer, right? First team, second team, right? But which player on the Panthers team do you look at and say, hey, this person is an all SWAC performer? And I'm not saying that they have the talent to be an all SWAC performer. That's not what the question is, right? Not like, hey, yeah, this guy has the talent, this guy got the talent, right? No, I'm saying which guy on this team do you look at and say, man, based on where they're at right now and based on what I think we're gonna do the rest of the year, I think this guy is an all SWAC performer. Who you got, right? So I see we got Keyshawn Johnson on defense. We got Ricky Keyshawn Johnson on defense. Jess says double A, you know what I'm saying? A double A battery. Ahmad Antoine. We got Ray has potential. Spiller has potential, right? You know what I'm saying? So would you pencil him in? Listen, this is a hard question, right? So personally, and I don't have the SWAC numbers in front of me right now, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough right now. It's kind of crazy because I got QB1, you got QB1, you got Juice. I think this is my opinion, right? if we win the West, right, I think Trezon is probably the only person that you will look at and say, I'm thinking offense and defense now, right? Just thinking offense and defense in my mind, right? He's probably the only person that you could say, well, if we win, if I see us winning the West and getting to the SWAC championship, that he's a guy who has to be at least second team all SWAC, right? He already has 2 SWAC player of the weeks so far. And if we win out, he got it. I mean, he got to probably get it against FAM and against, say, like a Southern. I mean, because those are just going to be big games. You have to play well for us to win those games. So he's the only guy that I'm looking at him saying, man, this guy is right there. Because when you look at Keyshawn Johnson, I mean, do I want him to be in that conversation? I think right now he's 9th in tackles. He doesn't have the sack numbers. He doesn't have the tackles for loss numbers, right? Now he's 9th, right, total in tackles, which I mean is pretty good, right? But when you look at how many linebackers are going to be all SWAC, I mean he's not up there with the Lewis Matthews and the Doziers, right? Like he's just not. I mean he needs to be averaging 9 tackles, 10 a game, and then you also need some tackles for loss, right, in your resume too. When I look at Juice is right there as far as the receiver that I believe could have the ability, but then he's not getting the targets. I mean, that's just the reality, right? He's not getting enough targets to be, you know what I'm saying, in there, right, with the top receivers, right, in the SWAC. And so since he's not getting the targets, he's not able to maintain the yardage numbers that he could, right? And because we have receivers across the board, you know, it's not Alabama State where you just got Keyshawn Johnson, you know what I'm saying? And he's going to get like 8 targets every single game, right? 5 catches, maybe 6 catches every single game. I mean, look, you got a Savage, you got a Spiller, you got a Kobe Cavill, you got Jenkins, you got so many players on this team that can make plays. Now, I will say somebody that has done themselves a disservice is Jaquan Bloomfield. Because I think so far he's had at least 3 drops to my remembering, maybe it may be 4, right? But he catches those passes yardage wise. He is definitely top 10 yardage wise as far as receivers, right? Not catches, but yardage. He's up there, and so I think he has in his own self kind of placed himself in a position where he's not among the elite receivers simply because he's put the ball on the ground, right? So in my mind, I'm like, man, I don't see anybody on the team right now. Even when we look at Jamal Marshall and Derek Ray, unless they have multiple games throughout the second half of this season where they're in the backfield consistently, their tackles for loss numbers, their sack numbers is just not up there with the top linemen in the SWAC, right? And so I'm like, man, we may have a team that goes to the SWAC championship game that may not get anybody on first team, right? And like I say, the only person I think could catch second team is Conley because we go to the SWAC championship game because he had to play well to get us there, right? But other than that, man, it's kind of tough. Now, I know, Boom, you mentioned Jenkins for special teams. I think he has the opportunity, definitely. And also, I think, you know what I'm saying, Double G, the kicker, right, has an opportunity, right, because of just the big kicks that he's made. I mean, 50-yarders that he's kicking. So I think definitely special teams, he has a chance to get there. But other than that, man, I think it's like, dang, it's really hard to see, you know, who we have that's really showing out, right? You know what I'm saying? Even Ahmad Antoine, he's right there on the cusp, but because he's had a couple games that's been subpar, he's not there, man. So anyway, it's just an interesting question. QB1 has a lot of help to be in the all SWAC conversation. Wide receivers, no more drop balls, and then offensive linemen give them time. Yeah, man. So said not right now. All right. 16. How can PV Athletics maximize hosting both the SWAC volleyball and soccer tournaments? You know, we've been talking about this, right? Of course, the soccer tournament is going to be during that same week at homecoming. Got SWAC volleyball tournament, right? Going to be later on in the month of November. I think is awesome and great, right? That we keep having the conference come back to us to host these championships. Of course, we know that we've also done in outdoor track and field championships. So I think it's awesome that we have the facilities that the conference is coming to use the facilities. But it's like now, I really wish we could get more eyes and ears, onto the facilities as well with all the different, conference teams that we have coming here this weekend. Like, this is an opportunity, if we can, right, to really engage even more of the community to come and be a part of what's going on here. And, to be like, to really like bring some money here too. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, we got all these games going on, right? Can we get people out to just check out, right? SWAC volleyball, check out SWAC soccer, you know what I'm saying? To get people here during that time. So we can also maximize dollars too as well, man. So I'm hoping that, AD Golf is looking and checking things out and seeing, what we can do. All right, number 17. Do the Huskies still love giving the ball away? Listen, this team has 7 interceptions on the year, 5 fumbles lost on the year. They just love giving the ball away. I mean, they just love. It's just a gift. Like, here, take it, right? So I'm hoping, I'm hoping that, we can actually create some turnovers this game, which will put us in a good position. Because if we can win the turnover battle, we're obviously going to be in a prime position to win the game. And we really haven't done a good job of winning the turnover battle throughout the season so far. So hopefully, the Huskies are still, still nice and still give the ball away, because we'll definitely take it. You say volleyball team, that'd be a great weekend to match up with the last football game of the season. Yeah, against Alabama State that weekend. So hopefully we can get some more eyes and ears there too for that last game. All right, number 18. We got 3 more questions. Which Panther wide receiver has the best game against HCU this weekend, right? Every week I feel like it's been somebody different, you know what I'm saying? And whoever taps into that receiver that has a big game is like, you're normally the person who can win the PV fantasy rankings, right? So we've had Spiller one week, we've had Savage one week, we've had Bloomfield one week, Jenkins one week. Who do y'all think this week is going to be that guy, right? I see Jenkins. We got 2 Jenkins. Got Shamar Savage. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see who has a big game. Listen, Shamar Savage, that guy runs hard. He's tough, right? Big receiver. I would love to see him get the ball more, right? That screen pass, we've thrown him 2 screen passes the last 2 games. Each one went for 10 yards. Like, listen, throw him the screen pass, bro. Like, it's hard to bring him down. That 6'4" body is hard to get him on the ground. So I would love to see us use that more often. Said Bloomfield. Ricky saying, hey, Jenkins is elusive, super quick, hiding ability, adjustments, everything, right? So, all right. What percentage do you give the Panthers of ending the year with 5 straight wins, right? From 0% to 100%. What percentage do you give us to go out here and knock out these 5 last games of the season? You know what I'm saying? We got Houston Christian, got FAMU, got UAPB, Southern, and we got Alabama State, right? What percentage do you give us to knock out all 5 of these games and go on a winning streak at the end of the year? So we got 50%. Rich is saying 50%. Anyone else? What y'all think, man? I honestly, 0%. You don't give us no shot? Boom, nothing. Not 1%. Oh, he said, let me drink some. I can get back with you. All right, man. Listen, I'm going to give us 25% chance, man. I think there's a shot. I think there's definitely a shot. If we can beat, I really think the big game is like, can we beat FAMU? If we can beat FAMU, man, listen, I'm going to have to increase my number if we can knock out FAMU, right? But if we can go in there and win, I think that's really the one that lingers over. Because I think the other 4 games are definitely winnable games. So I think, man, FAMU is really that one. Said 33%. That's pretty good, man. Listen, as long as it ain't 0%. Boom gave us 0. Boom, we can't get 1% though. Can we just get 1%? You know what I'm saying? Can you not put us at 0? You feel me? FAMU game is a big question. I'm with you on that. You saying we're gonna beat Willie Simmons led FAMU team? Yeah. So we'll see, man. Last question on 20 questions. The Panthers beat Houston Christian if. What is the one thing you think we need to do to win this game this weekend? The Panthers beat Houston Christian if. Listen, we be fam is going down. We be fam. We're gonna really have to keep our heads like even keel. You know what I'm saying? Before we go against UAPB, because listen, that's gonna be hard to come back. I ain't gonna lie. So we gotta like come down and realize, hey, listen, we got 3 more games. 4 more games. Like this, 3 more games. This ain't it. You know what I mean? So all right, we beat them if they contain the pass attack. You know what I'm saying? We control the line of scrimmage. All right. You know what I'm saying? Knock them in their mouth. What needs to happen for us to beat Houston Christian? You know what I'm saying? I think, listen, don't give up big pass plays. We can't give up big pass plays. Control the line of scrimmage. Our coaches call a very good game. Yeah, that's always that's a good one. Listen, we can't get out coached. You know, if we don't get out coached, I think we win every game. If we just don't get out coached, that's really, when you talking about the percentages on can we knock these 5 games out, it's like, do we get out coached or not? That's really what the question is. Because if we can call good games, you know what I'm saying? If we can call good games, we can win, right? All right, if we keep our foot on their necks, play ball without unnecessary penalties, no turnovers. All right, he said offense and defense line to show up, period, control the line of scrimmage. And you say, Elvin said we play the pass. All right, so let's get into it, man. Players to watch for this game before we close out. And again, if anybody want to jump in before we jump out of here, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to drop that link to the StreamYard, you know what I'm saying, as we close out. But let's talk about this Houston Christian game that's coming up. Players to watch, man. I got Trayvon Conley because, listen, I think this is going to be another opportunity for us to win, you know what I'm saying, through the air. Like, I think we have a chance to move the ball on Houston Christian. They've definitely gave up, yards through the air this year. Looking at some of the past games, right? And I think Bloomfield has another opportunity, right? This is one player that Trayvon likes to go to, him and Spiller, right? Especially with the deep ball. I think he's going to redeem himself and not put the ball on the ground this game, right? So I'm looking for both him and Trayvon to have a big game. I'm looking for Trayvon not to turn the ball over again, right? Like another game with 0 turnovers. That's going to be awesome, right? Defense, man, listen, those 2 big bad men in the middle have been doing an excellent job. They've been improving game in and game out, playing very well off of one another. Jamal Marshall and Derek Ray Jr., those are the guys to watch if they can continue to create pressure up the middle, right? I still think we need to find somebody on the outside to go with them. Calvin Presley and both Miles McCaney had a good game this past week. Hopefully they can keep that up too as well. But those 2 guys in the middle creating havoc, stopping the run are big for us, right? And so I got them down as 2 players to watch. Then with Houston Christian, their starting running back looks like he's been hurt, right? And so now they have a running back stable very similar to us, right? They love to run the ball. They got 3 running backs there. So Darrell Evans is the number 1 guy now. He was the 1B. Now he's definitely the 1A, period. And so definitely got to be able to contain him, not allow him to get big yards on the ground. The only receiver that has more than 10 catches on this team is Carl Reynolds. 23 catches on the year, right? And so if there a guy that Suits likes to go to, the quarterback is Kobe Suits, right? If there's a guy he likes to go to, is this guy, right? And so I hope that our defense understands, like, you need to know what he is at all time because that's where he likes to go. 23 catches. The next closest receiver only has 9 catches, right? So this is the guy we need to watch out for, right? Make sure, we contain him. And then on the defensive end, Rodney Dansby and Jalix Hunt. Dansby is the linebacker. Hunt is the defensive end. And listen, over for Hunt has 4.5 tackles for a loss this year. I believe 4 sacks too as well. And then Rodney Dansby is leading them in tackles. So these are the guys on the defensive side, right, that we need to know and put bodies and put hands on, right? So make sure they stay out the backfield and make sure we be able to give Conley a good pocket, right, to throw in. So he said he's ready for the Southland Conference. Cheating. Oh, man. He said he coached Reynolds as a freshman. Okay, that's dope. Yeah, man, he's doing big things over there. Think this is his senior year, right? So yeah, man, he's doing big things right now for Houston Christian in that 5,000 seat stadium. You know what I'm saying? But keys to the game, what I got, man, is offense. 1, protect the ball. Don't turn the ball over. This team, the Houston Christian likes to give the ball away. So we can't get a ball back to them, right? So just protect the ball. I think Ricky mentioned it earlier. Control the line of scrimmage. because they want to run the ball, right? And so if we can win in the run game, right, and contain their run, we're gonna make them have to beat us through the air. And if we can get up early, they really got to beat us through the air. And so that can be a gift and a curse, right? And then continue to mix it up on first downs, right? We did a great job this past week, as I've talked about multiple times, right? 5 pass plays, 4 runs. If we continue to mix it up right and get ahead of the chains, get them on their heels, I think that's where we need to be. Then I also say on defense, right? Man, more stunts up front. The last game against Valley was great. We got in the backfield a lot. Against Grambling, I only saw 3 stunts called the whole game. So listen, if it's working, like, make it work until it don't work no more. All right, you know what I'm saying? So let's continue to call some creative stunts. I also saw a couple blitzes. I saw them bring a linebacker blitz off tackle last game, right? That's the first time I've seen that, right? Most of the times I've seen them blitz has been, you know what I'm saying, between the tackle. So again, right, I want to see more of that, right, and continue to use that so we can get more pressure on the quarterback. Third down efficiency. Get off the field on third down. A lot of times in that Grambling game, we couldn't get off the field, right? So they kept drives going. So we need to get off the field on third down, get the ball back to the offense, and let them do what they do. And then, like I always say, no big plays through the air. No big plays through the air. So final score, man. What y'all got, man, for the final score? Drop it in the comments. And again, while y'all doing that, I want to let y'all know, man, I appreciate y'all for jumping on. Again, I'm trying to keep this going every Wednesday so we can get on, just do a recap for all of PV sports throughout the week. Remind y'all again, next week, we're going to be jumping on talking about the basketball season preview. So make sure y'all look out for that as well. And make sure you just, man, subscribe to the channel, like the content, man, and share it with PV Nation as well so that we can continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? So we can definitely continue to grow. And again, if anybody wants to jump on, I dropped that StreamYard link in the comments already. So if y'all want to jump on, or if in the previous week, you know what I'm saying, you want to jump on, just let me know, man. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure you get on so you can share your thoughts with us. So I see 35-28 from Richard, 24-13 from Ricky, 17-10. That's a low scoring game. We're only going to give up 10 points. All right, listen, I would take us only giving up 10 points. Listen, if this is the score, I'm even though I'm gonna be like, why did we only score 17 points from an offensive standpoint? I'm gonna be happy from a defensive standpoint, because if we only get up 10 points, I'm happy. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm happy. But I got it 27-24. As much as I think that we can get out of there with a bigger win, our tendency has been not to keep our foot on people's necks, right? And so I think Houston Christian is going to make it close in the end. So I got it, you know what I'm saying? I got it 27-24. Boom got it 27-14, right? So, but anyway, man, I appreciate you all for coming and jumping on. Hopefully you guys can get out to the game if you are in the Houston area. I'm going to be taking my wife. Like, my wife actually, went to Houston Baptist, right? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't called Houston Christian, called Houston Baptist back then, not a Houston Christian, right? They're trying to expand, right? You know what I'm saying? Bring all the denominations in, you feel me? But so I'm taking her to the game. So, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm like, listen, you can't be wearing no Houston Christian hat though with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta go bare. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be like purple and gold or nothing. You feel me? But but she gonna be coming to the game with me. So we're gonna enjoy ourselves. But hopefully we see you guys there, man, to check out. Hey, man, Jess, appreciate you for coming and jumping on, man. Appreciate you, Elvin, always for jumping on too as well. Let's continue to keep it going. Again, like I said, next week, hey, we getting on that basketball preview, man. So make sure y'all lock in with me on Tuesday. We're going to do that on Tuesday next week, jumping on at 6 o'clock. If we need to tweak it, man, I'll let y'all know, though. But until next time, man, appreciate y'all. It's so stupid. So, yeah, man, good stuff. Appreciate y'all, man. And I'm going to get out y'all way, man, but appreciate y'all for jumping on. And y'all know how we do it, man. Let me end it like I like to end it with my boy, Amar Antoine.
This is a classic. Ain't nothing classy about this. This is a classic. Ain't nothing classy about this.
All right, so I see y'all later. Until next time.